Hey, welcome to Move Your Mojo, where we will have casual little chats about mindset, movement, and mojo. I'm Jay, a movement specialist, a maverick mystic, and quite frankly, a mojo magician. We're going to talk about how movement heals, mindset matters, and how both will boost your life force mojo. We'll chew on all sorts of topics from breath work, how to balance your energy, reduce stress, shift perspective, ease back pain, have more orgasms, yeah, I went there, to even the nuts and bolts of navigating the logistics of life with ease and flow. We're going to have grace for where we are, yet gear up 1% each day. Here's to living out loud and loving in full color. Rock on. Now let's move your mojo. Welcome to Move Your Mojo, and we are here on the cusp of a new year, 2023, all that it is inviting us to bring to our world. And we are also on the back end of a full moon, and I want to get a little bit nerdy with you today about the energetics of all that is surrounding us. This particular full moon is the energy of prosper again. And I could tell you all of the fancy names about the house that it falls in, etc. But essentially what it means is that we are in a place where we can prosper again. And we're also here on this new year, right? Everyone's making resolutions. Everyone's talking about new year, new me, and making intentions. There's a debate, it seems like, growing each year about, do you set resolutions? Do you set intentions? Which one sets you up for success? Which one sets you up for failure? I tend to be Switzerland. I tend to think that whether it's a resolution or an intention, it's the awareness that there are things that worked for us in the previous year and there are things that did not. And whatever resonates with us, whether it's a resolution or an intention, it really is about igniting the desire to want to improve. And that's what this podcast is all about, right? How do we use movement or mindset and different practices to just up-level our life 1% each day? Because we have enough light for the step that we're on. Right? We don't have this floodlight that projects into the future and allows us to see how everything's going to play out. And we all know that as we age, especially those of us who are older, know that our best laid plans are sometimes laughable. I have 2 college-age daughters, and they are making plans and trying to choose majors and telling me about things in their life. My one daughter has her future children named, etc. And while I full-heartedly want to believe that whatever she's calling into her life will manifest, at the same time I know that sometimes life throws us curveballs, right? That's not to discourage her from dreaming or choosing names. I did the same thing when I was her age. But it's just that example of how we set plans and we have these intentions, and then sometimes we get a little railroaded or sidetracked, or we find something better than what we had originally even dreamed of. So let's talk a bit about that. First of all, resolution or intention. I feel like the entire word itself, if we break it down, I'm a little bit of a word nerd. If we break down resolution, it's to resolve. And if we just change the emphasis on the syllable, right, the emphasis on the syllable, it is resolve. So I think a lot of the energy of what this new year brings is, how do we resolve some issues that we've had personally, professionally, mentally, physically in our life, and figure out a new solution, resolve. So it's not about identifying more problems or giving ourselves more guilt trips or putting more shames and shoulda, coulda, wouldas on us, but what are those things that feel like they might be a hindrance or a stumbling block to the next up level of our life, and how do we resolve those things so that they are that step that we're on, that we conquer, that we achieve, so we can move on to the next thing. So going back a little bit here to the full moon and how that ties in, it is to be prosperous again, right? We are to find this dance with creativity. We are to surrender figuring it out. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a huge issue with me. I like to figure things out. I like to analyze the bejesus out of anything. And that's something I've had to learn as I age and as I become wiser, that I can't figure out everything. And that here again, this full moon is perfect with this new year, at the Gregorian New Year, mind you, because this is not like an Ayurvedic New Year or whatnot. This is a Gregorian New Year. So those of us who are setting resolutions or intentions, it's hard because you feel like all gung-ho, you need to do this, you need to do that. But at the same time, all of nature around us is sleeping, is resting, is nourishing seeds. And so it often can feel like we just can't make traction on these resolutions. So here's what I want to offer you today. Perhaps part of this Gregorian New Year, New You is preparation. That you're still in a season right now that whatever you've deemed is that challenge you want to accept for this year, that growth that you want to partake of this year, it doesn't have to happen in the first month or the second month of this year, because we are of nature and we are in the middle of this winter, at least here on the northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, if you're listening to me, this is completely opposite for you right now, and that's great. Go get them, Tiger. But this surrender of figuring it out at the moment, just resting and digesting with the rest of nature, to just embrace our creativity right now and how we show up for ourselves. So the symbol, which I found very interesting, to back it up for a moment. So I'm talking about all this the other day, last week actually, with my client, and we were having this discussion about New Year resolutions and intentions and how it seems to be kind of out of sync with nature, which it is, right? Nature's not gung-ho right now. Nature's going to get gung-ho in about March or April, which is, on the spring equinox. So, what can we learn from nature right now as it's resting? Can we simmer down a little bit and prepare and lay the plans and set the stage, if you will? And I was sharing with her about how one thing that had always struck me a little bit with that is how we have to kind of like pull back an arrow to even aim it. And she had shared a story of a movie that she had watched. I think it was Emily in Paris or something, and a statement was made in French, but the translation was, you have to step back to jump better. And it just went hand in hand. It was synchronistic, right, with the conversation. You do sometimes have to step back to get better. And I think that's an important theme to remember right now as we are on this pressurized system of everybody do better right now, 100% of the time. And I think that's unrealistic, because change happens slowly over time and in progressions. So that step back to jump better or the pull back to aim the arrow are both really what the season's about with the rest of nature. And then going back to that full moon, the symbol of this particular full moon and its particular house and all of that right now is a quiver of arrows, which I found to be fascinating when I learned that a few days after that conversation. So we are right now this quiver of arrows, and we are putting our arrow on the bow, and we are pulling back and aiming. We are stepping back to jump better. The energy of this time in this winter season is to prepare, to pull back, to grow better. So let's think about this. I mean, we have the acorn, right? It's not sprouting into a huge oak tree right now. It is deep within the earth, deep within the dark, cocooned in its dirt of nourishment, just waiting for warmth, waiting, preparing. It's the same for the sprouts that are in gardens, waiting to come to seed and break ground, the buds that are on the tips of the trees that right now look dead, but those buds are going to bloom to life in just a few short months. They are all resting and soaking up nourishment. They're growing roots. They are pulling back to aim for growth. And this season for you could be this particular season right now. But you also could find that you're in a season of life where you are pulling back to aim. You are stepping back to get better or jump better. I know for me, I'm on the cusp of empty nest. I feel sometimes completely lost about what my future holds. What does the new Jamie look like that isn't mom full-time and then everything else part-time? I get to become myself fully once again full-time. I don't know what that looks like. And so I am encouraged by this full moon that is sending the message of prosper again. And not that my children didn't make me prosper. In fact, they're the best humans, and the biggest accomplishment of my life was raising my girls and the amazing humans that they are. But it's, for me, the message of the dreams and hopes that I had for other parts of my life and in other areas of the world are to a place where they can prosper again. A season has ended and a new season is beginning. So when we know deep down what we're really about, we can get to the business of it, right? I love to hike, and you can walk trails, and some trails are so well trodden that you don't need any markers. You can see the trail. And then there are other trails that are not as familiar to you, and you need those markers. And I think we're like that even in our neurons, right? In our brain map, where we get so stuck in certain patterns, whether those be healthy patterns or not so healthy patterns, mentally, physically, relationally, we tend to go to the path of least resistance. And this moon and this season and this year, even here as we are on the cusp of the age of Aquarius, is asking us to shed the burrs on our socks, those things that we've picked up along the trail, and to walk a cleaner trail, if you will, in the sense of leaving our past baggage behind and moving forward. But it's also asking us to maybe even forge into a new trail, to pave a new way. So that's something that we want to keep in mind. But our essence in and of itself has not changed. The essence of who we are when we were born into this world, which is pure light and love, is the essence that remains in us. We are the universe, and the universe is within us. God is in us, and we are in God. The Holy Spirit, the divine, Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever higher spirit you attribute to, that essence is within us all. And sometimes I like to say we're all the same light, and that light takes on different wattages and different light bulbs for different lamps, but we're all the same light. And we don't need to try to change ourselves with this new path or resolutions, intentions, in the sense of becoming a better person. We were born the purest and most loveliest of humans, and really it's about shedding programming, things that we've learned, habits we've picked up that inhibit our truest, purest essence, So essentially like a cleansing or a clearing. I often think about the story of the sculptor who, I think it might have even been Michelangelo with David. Who knows? I don't know. But it's something along the lines. Just follow me here. But there was a sculptor who was asked, how do you know what to sculpt or which part of the rock to carve to create this sculpture? And the answer was something along the lines of, I just have to chip away everything that wasn't it. And how true is that even of us? That we pick up these burrs on our socks as we go through life. We pick up programming, we pick up things people have said, judgments placed upon us. Think of the Wemmicks, the story of the Wemmicks with Max Lucado, where these little puppets built by the puppeteer, would go around putting gray stickers on each other or gold stars. And there was one puppet that never had any of this, a little wooden girl, and this one poor little gray stickered puppet that never got a gold star finally asked, how she never had any stars. And she said she always went back to her creator, and she knew her true essence. She knew the love she was created with and created for, and the stickers just never stuck. So I think that's a comforting story as well as we think about prospering again. The whole idea of this full moon, this new year, is to revitalize, vitalize being that word of life and vitality. So you can stop this podcast right here if you like, but I am also going to move forward with that same thought and do my first ever meditation recorded on this podcast. So if you'd like to stick around for that, please do. We're going to explore some mudras and mantras for this same idea of helping to clear our mind of all that is not of our true essence, to uninhibit ourselves, and to welcome vitality into our life so that we can pull back to aim the arrow. And if you are moving forward with resolutions and intentions, remember it's just enough light for the step you're on. Just do the next best thing each and every day. And if it all feels overwhelming, step back to jump better, pull back to aim the arrow, refocus, and then move forward again the next day. I hope that this message is encouraging you to live your best life and to love yourself out loud, to live in full color. And if you're sticking around for the meditation, we'll get settled into a comfortable position here in just a moment. For everyone else, signing off, have a beautiful day and rock on. Otherwise, let's get ready to meditate. If you are listening to this, that means you've decided to stick around for meditation today. And we are going to explore an ancient meditation based on the seed sounds of Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. This is a powerful meditation, and there have been recent studies, 3 very large ones in fact, of prominent medical and university studies that have shown that this has significantly slowed down Alzheimer's for patients. It increases all cognitive function, perception, thinking, reasoning, remembering. It also reduces stress levels and improves short-term memory. Now, this is considered a Kundalini Kirtan Kriya. Kirtan means a song or praise, and Kriya means to do or action. So we'll be moving through sounds and movements just with our fingers. This mantra, a mantra means repeated phrase, and a moving hands or mudra means a dance of the hands, which is very fitting for this full moon, as we were talking about this dance with our creativity. So think of us encouraging or inviting in that creativity as we dance with our fingers. The essence of this particular meditation, Sa Ta Na Ma, The root of it comes from Sat Nam, which we repeat and recite often in Kundalini. Sat Nam means my true essence. So here again, going along with the talk we just had, inviting in the true essence, or I should say opening up and enveloping the true essence that already is within us, and encouraging everything else that is not to fall away. Reciting Sa Ta Na Ma will stimulate 84 acupressure points in the palate of your mouth. And that is where all of that funky neuroscience and the studies comes in. I won't bore you with all those details, but just know you're doing more than just making sounds. You're rewiring some neurons in your brain. As we recite Sa Ta Na Ma, we're going to do the most suggested in the studies, meaning you could do 3 minutes, 6 minute, or 12 minute. We are going to do the 12 minute. So at this time, if you need to pause and go get what you need to be comfortable, whether you're seated on a bed with pillows propped up behind you or in a chair where you're comfortable. I'm on the floor on a bolster pillow where my knees can fall down a little lower than my hips so I can sit upright and be comfortable. As we're repeating the mantra, we're going to do the 12-minute version, which is the most recommended by the studies. And that will mean 2 minutes that you'll speak it, 2 minutes you'll whisper it, 4 minutes of silence, repeating it in your mind, 2 minutes of whispering it again, and 2 minutes of speaking it out loud. I'll guide you through all of it. If you're somewhere that you feel you should not speak it out loud or don't want to speak it out loud, never mind that. Don't worry about it. Just do the entire meditation silently in your mind. I do recommend that you don't listen to this while driving your car and trying to meditate at the same time. Come back and visit it when you're in a comfortable place where you can really let your mind unwind and not be focused on something as important as driving. Now, we're going to be going through 4 fingers as we repeat these seed sounds. When we are saying Sa in our mind, the first finger or index finger and thumb points touch. Now that finger, when we bring thumb to index or forefinger, that is to invite knowledge and to release limits. When we say Ta, it's the second finger, and our second finger invites in patience and wisdom. When we recite Na, that's the third finger or ring finger. It's connected to the heart and lung meridians, and it is inviting in vitality. And our fourth finger is Ma. That is the finger of clear communication. So these things also have ideas, not just the fingers, but the sounds themselves have ideas or focuses also conjoined with them. Sa is the sound of birth, beginning, infinity, totality of all that was, is, and ever will be. Our second finger and the sound Ta is life, existence, creativity that manifests from infinity. Na is death, change, transformation into pure consciousness. And our fourth finger in the sound Ma, rebirth, regeneration, a resurrection that allows us to consciously experience the joy of the infinite. Now these are some amazing things to think. And if you cannot remember all these things while you're meditating, know that that's perfectly all right. Your body and your mind will know as you invite in the ideas of birth, transformation, pure consciousness, and vitality. I'm going to lead you through the 12 minutes. As you're breathing in, you'll think of energy or white light coming in through your crown. And as you breathe out, imagine that energy leaving through the space between your eyebrows. This will awaken your pineal and pituitary glands. Now, just as a reminder, let's go through a round or two here before we close our eyes and officially start our time. Bringing first finger and thumb together, sa. Second finger, ta. Third finger, na. Fourth finger, ma. Moving through the fingers all in a row, sa, ta, na, ma. Breathe in, sa, ta, na, ma. Breathe in, sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Pause. You do this with both hands. Get comfortable. Take a deep breath in and out. Allow your eyes to be closed. Taking another deep breath in and out. Remembering you're just going to be moving through the 4 fingers. In the first 2 minutes, I'll be saying this out loud, and the mantra should be firmly within your brain at that time. Taking a deep breath in, sigh it away, and we begin. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Deep breath in. Sigh it away. And now we whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Sa, Now preparing for 4 minutes of silence, going ahead and repeating the mantra. Stay on your rhythm. If you find your mind wandering, simply come back to the mantra. Allow your body to stay with the mantra. Sa, ta, na, ma. Staying with your breath, repeating the mantra silently still. Sa, ta, na, ma. Embrace the breath. Embrace the mantra. Continuing silently. Sa, ta, na, ma. coming back to a whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Now moving to speaking out loud for our final 2 minutes. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Another deep breath in. And sigh it away. You can leave your hands resting in your lap, or perhaps you bring them to heart center. Taking another deep breath in. Release it. May your thoughts be pure. May your heart be peaceful. And may your words be joyful. Namaste. Thank you. And I look forward to sharing space with you again soon.